encourage an ethos where you would have people keep presenting this idea of perfection as opposed to, just saying like, hey, we made a mistake.
Investigation you'll see only on CBS this morning. We traveled to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs to investigate sexual assault in the service academies.
Sexual assault can often be tough to prove.
CBS this morning, for more than a decade, the Pentagon has vowed to eradicate sexual assault from its ranks.
The Air Force Academy is once again facing a slew of sexual assault allegations by current and former cadets.
Athletes at the Air Force Academy have been accused of sexual assault, drug use, and more. And worst of all, this has been going on for over a decade.
An Air Force Major General who's a native of Albuquerque has been charged with sexual assault.
It was my dream school. I thought about it more and I was like, I love the Air Force. I love the esprit de corps, being a part of something. So I was really, really excited when I got my appointment. It's one of the most prestigious places you could ever go to school.
Being harassed so bad by my commanders that ended up having a nervous breakdown.
I was sexually assaulted my freshman year, and the sexual harassment I endured eventually made me leave.
I was violently raped in my room.
I was terrified of reporting because I've heard of things that happen to people. And it did happen to me, so it's not horror stories.
Do you regret reporting the assault?
No, I regret it every day. I regret it every day because of everything that came after.
She is speaking publicly tonight for the first time, still angry about how she was treated, not only by her alleged attacker, but by the academy, where she dropped out. Her life changed forever.
Honestly, I gave up on life. There were times I didn't want to be alive. They don't want people to know that sexual assault is a problem at the Air Force Academy.
Assault can often be tough to prove. With allegations at the Air Force Academy of female cadets being victimized by players on the football team, one of the players agreed to go undercover to gather evidence. What happened to him is just part of the story. For the first time,
Eric, you're an anomaly. You were a bystander as a confidential informant, but you were also a bystander, but you didn't do anything wrong. You weren't underage drinking. You didn't have what the Academy calls collateral misconduct.
The Air Force Academy, Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is where future leaders are molded, guided by an honor code that is the foundation of cadet life. This is where Eric Thomas, a soccer standout from Texas, enrolled in 2009.
I went because I wanted to play Division I soccer. It's pure and simple, but the reason why I stayed was a lot different. I stayed because I wanted to serve this country.
Thomas learned early on that at the academy, as at so many Division I schools, there was a clear hierarchy.
Touchdown, Falcons!
In October 2010, after Air Force defeated Navy at Falcon Stadium, Thomas and some fellow cadets went to a party off campus to celebrate. At the party, several alleged crimes would take place, including sexual assaults and drug use. The Air Force's internal law enforcement agency investigated. An agent questioned several cadets who were present, including Thomas. Thomas says he agreed to become a confidential informant for OSI, the Air Force Office of Special Investigations.
Another cadet came, pulled him off of me.
Thomas had stopped Claxton from raping the former cadet. He reported the incident to his squadron commander the next day. A few weeks later, Thomas was called to a meeting with OSI Special Agent Brandon Enos.
When I started talking to him, I started realizing that he had a lot more information than just on that one sexual assault piece. And then he kind of started mentioning some things on the football team.
Earlier that fall, Enos had interviewed a female cadet who said she'd been raped.
Her case happened to be for a football player that sexually assaulted her, and she told us that there was nothing we could do about that. And I was like, wow, this is a team that is very hard to penetrate. Nobody ever wants to talk about it.
I mentioned the honor code before, and I know for a fact that General Johnson basically said the reason why we got rid of the confidential informant program, which she had really no authority to do so, but anyway, she said we have the honor code, right? Well, going back to it, you take a look at the one guy who decided to uphold that, which was Eric Thomas. He comes down and says, hey, something's messed up. This guy Claxton literally sexually assaulted somebody, which we got a conviction on because of him. Had he actually done the bro code that everybody calls at the academy and kept his bound, this is what I guess pisses me off so much, is that had Eric Thomas not said anything and followed the bro code rather than the honor code, Eric Thomas would be in the military right now. He would be an officer. He'd probably be what, a captain, a major right now, for God's sake. But because he did the right thing, he actually followed the honor code, he gets kicked out. And then all of these football players, like I talked about earlier, the 50 Roundup that were lying to our face and they're trafficking drugs and sexually assaulting people, we have 3-star generals trying to keep them in the Air Force.
The final decision was made by then Superintendent Lieutenant General Michael Gould.
If I disenrolled him from the Air Force Academy, he deserved to be disenrolled. You would not want that particular individual to be an officer in our Air Force today.
Do you give Eric Thomas any credit for what he did, serving as an undercover informant?
I don't want to talk about former Cadet Thomas anymore.
The fact that he helped bring these cases, was that a good thing?
I don't really buy into the fact that he helped bring these cases.
Really? Not at all?
No, I'm finished talking about his accusations. I don't buy any of them.
But even the Air Force Inspector General found that Thomas deserves substantial credit for his role in helping to bring cases of sexual violence to light.
Very positive. His work definitely helped the OSI in their investigation and later on helped obtain a couple of court-martial trials.
Is that somebody later on, I didn't realize it at the time, but somebody later on asked me, how did the Academy feel about these convictions? We got, and I say we, Eric Thomas was instrumental in this, and I don't know if we could have done it without him. We got 3 sexual assault convictions. We were 100%. And for reference, there is a less than a 1% chance that a conviction, that those type of cases will end up in a conviction. So we had a lot of people wondering how we did this. And somebody later asked me, how did the Air Force Academy react? And I said, you know, nobody ever really cared. We got the first conviction since 1997. And then we got 2 more after that. I can't tell you how many people I've gotten promoted off of that, especially in the legal department. But
if I had Teresa, if I had Brandon, if I had someone like Eric, like all these things, how it should be. And I don't think that is too high of an aspiration to have. I don't think things would have been so bad. Maybe there wouldn't have been a conviction, but at least I would have the resources I needed. And at least there would be people trying to help me versus just me trying to do this alone or reaching out to people who actually just turned out to be enemies. So.
And how many people were actively involved in trying to drug these girls?
There's about 5 football players.
Thomas says one of those players was star linebacker Jamil Cooks. What happened to the girls?
They blacked out, couldn't remember certain things, certain parts of the night. There were roughly about 5 or 6 females who were sexually assaulted as a result of that night.
Why would the Air Force Academy sacrifice a cadet who had tried to do the right thing?
Doing the right thing comes at a cost. And I don't think the Academy necessarily liked that.
What do you want now for yourself?
I want to graduate. I want to get my diploma. I want to get my commission. I want my name to be cleared, my paperwork to be cleared. And that question's been asked is, knowing what you know now, would you go back and do it again? Well, we got 3 rapists out of the Air Force. So that means we prevented other rapes from occurring. So we saved some lives, yeah. do it again.